Well dressing in Tissington has been a strong tradition for generations. For over 200 years, the villagers have dressed the wells with picture boards made out of flower petals and some other natural materials. Before that, they dressed the wells with garlands of flowers, a custom that goes right back to 1349. It's a huge event here in Tissington, but sadly, it's been cancelled for the second time due to the coronavirus situation. You may recall from our video last year, the Carr family kept their hand in by making a smaller well dressing in their backyard. Most of the wells in Tissington were bare last year, however, Yew Tree Well was adorned with flowers and a candle. As I stand here, you can see Tissington Hall in the distance over my shoulder. That has been the official residence of the Fitzherbert family for well over 400 years. The current baronet is Sir Richard, and I've arranged to meet him. I've come up and I have met up with Sir Richard, who's beside me here, and it's really nice to see you again, Sir Richard. Thank you for coming to join us here. We appreciate that. It's a very different year for you this year.
Indeed it is, Douglas. Hello. And I'll take my mask off for the point of this interview, but this is what we've been battling against, isn't it? COVID-19 in this very difficult last 12 months or so. And so unfortunately we've had to come to the decision that we won't be dressing our wonderful wells this year, 2021.
Yeah, very sad, and I'm sure that everyone in the village is sad about that. Many people love to come and see them. We love the works of art. We know you put a lot of work into it, and so on. But you'll be back on next year, we hope.
Well, we said so. That's 2 years. So obviously we cancelled last year in 2020, but with social distancing and the rules not quite relaxed for May the 13th, we thought it would be wiser not to try and to have the well dressings as normal. There may be a few floral decorations around each of the wells during the Ascension week 2021, but we hope to be back as good as ever for a big thing in 2022.
Excellent. We shall look forward to that with eager anticipation. Have you any thoughts of what you might dress the well as next year?
No, we'll certainly be using biblical themes as well, but I'm sure the designers will be taking images and thoughts and directives from this last 12 months or so. So I'm sure there'll be lots and lots of references to COVID-19 and coronavirus in the well dressings in 2022.
Okay, well, we shall wait and see what comes. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And I think you mentioned we're going up to the hall.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do that now, shall we?
Yeah.
So we've come up to the gate to Tissington Hall, and well, it's closed, isn't it? And that's very sad to think of Tissington as being closed. We'd much rather it was open, but I think Sir Richard is looking forward to welcoming visitors next year. And once COVID is past.
That's right. So next year we'll be open, hopefully as normal, fingers crossed, after COVID-19, and we'll be able to welcome people to Tissington Hall, whether it be for marriages, receptions, or just a visit of the hall and grounds, etc. So we want to make Tissington a welcoming place, and we want to welcome people to our home, heritage and history.
So there's lots of other things to see in the village as well. It's a fascinating village for a day out any time in the year, whether well dressings are in or not. Tell us about some of the things we might meet in the village.
There's lots of footpaths, lots of really good walks around the village, lots of cycling around the village. Of course, we've got the Tissington Trail right on our doorstep, so that's 26 miles of flat track, so it's relatively easy cycling. We've got Herbert's Tea Rooms that open every day, Annie at her candle shop that's open, and of course the sweet shop in the village, not to forget the delicious butcher at the back of the village. Andrew's always happy to welcome you anytime.
Oh, with all that food, I can't wait. Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. I shall look forward to that, and thank you.
We'll see you again.
Thank you.
Ascension Day next year is May the 23rd, 2022.
The last time Hallwell was dressed was in 2019, when there was a beautiful picture of Jonah and the whale. As Jonah tried to run away from God, the Lord sent such a storm that the sailors on the boats were afraid they were going to go under. Jonah told them he was running away from God, but if they threw him overboard, the sea would become calm. And it did. The Lord prepared a great fish or whale to swallow Jonah, and he was inside that whale for 3 days when he prayed and said, "Salvation is of the Lord." Jonah knew the only way for him to escape from the whale was if God would save him. And he did. The Lord commanded, and the whale spat Jonah out onto the beach. And it's still true today. The Lord saves people who call on him, and he's only a prayer away. A little up the road and we come to the children's well. This one wasn't included when the wells were first dressed in this style 200 years ago. But when Yorkshire Television came to film the well dressings in 1982, they suggested the children do one, and it's been done ever since. 2 years ago, it had a quote from A.A. Milne's book, Winnie the Pooh. Piglet says, "We'll be friends forever, won't we, Pooh?" Moving from fiction to fact, this past year has made us appreciate friends and family more than ever, especially when we've not been allowed to be in the same house, and even at times we've not been allowed to meet up outside. But the friendships live on. Our friends are still our friends. In God's book, the Bible, Jesus said we are his friends if we do what he commands us. So, here is Wendy. She's here at Hanswell, and she designs Hanswell each year, so it's great to see you again, Wendy.
Yeah, nice to
thanks
see
for
you.
agreeing to see us. So tell us a wee bit about the process of making up the well. You draw the drawing, you're the designer.
Yeah, usually probably about a month before I decide what I'm going to design, what picture. Quite often it's based on what particular year is it, national year of something or whatever, and I'll see if I can find something that's topical and a biblical picture that would tie into that. It's not always possible, so sometimes it can just be a picture from the Bible that I think would look quite good in flowers.
Right, okay. And is that easy to draw? Because it must be a huge big piece of paper you use.
Yeah, I have to scale it up, so I'll put a grid over the small picture of, say, 1 inch squares, and then go up to probably 5 inch squares, so that's usually the scale that roughly that you'd need to enlarge it.
And what about the team of people to put the petling all in place? How does that work? Is it family or friends or?
A lot of Hanswell is family. We've always been associated with this well. Everybody's involved who will be, whether it's putting up the boards or claying the boards. So that usually gets the men folk involved. Mum always supplies the tea, which is a big important job. And then just anybody, well, usually family or in the local vicinity will come and give us a hand.
Very good. How long does it take to do that?
It really probably a day to put the design onto the clay, and then 3 days to depict it in flowers.
Right, and then all these petals have to be carefully placed, don't they, so that if it rains, is that the right phrase? If it rains?
Yeah, so they're all placed as roof tiles, so that if it rains, the water will run off it.
Very good.
Rather than pull the petals off.
And do you have any favourites from the years past?
Favourites are, we plough the field and scatter, which I think was the second one I did. And then I did a church window. Well, I've done both the church windows at St Mary's, so the Noah's Ark one, that was quite good. And then I did the altar once, where it looked like the full altar with the window in the background, so I was quite pleased with that one.
Good. I'm sure you've done many over the years. I'll not ask you how many years in case it embarrasses you. It's probably more than 3, so we'll go with that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much for speaking with us today. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Two years ago, Hanswell had Moses being floated in the River Nile as a little baby. And that was because Wendy had become a grandma and she had a little granddaughter. And so she wanted something on the baby theme. And Wendy's little granddaughter is growing up. Moses grew up too. And when Moses was a grown man, God sent him to be the saviour for the people who were slaves in Egypt. God sent a saviour for us too. And there's similarities with Moses. Moses was put in a basket and floated in the River Nile. Jesus was put in a manger and he had come all the way to earth. Moses, he left the splendour of the royal palace. Jesus left the splendour of heaven and came into this world in the humble circumstances. Jesus took a great step to leave heaven and come to our planet, which neatly leads me on to our next well. But I've got a hill to climb before I get there. So passing Edward and Vintage, the old sweetie shop, up the hill and round the corner at the caravan site, and down the hill we come past the Methodist chapel and past the butcher's shop, and then up a little path into a garden. And it's here that you find the coffin well. You'll see the shape, coffin shape. And so it's very appropriately named. Now that I'm here, I can tell you the theme that was on this well dressing 2 years ago. It was space travel. We've got Wallace and Gromit's A Great Day Out when they went to the moon. They had a great love of cheese, and the moon is made of cheese, so off they go on an adventure. The short film premiered in November 1989, so this was the 30th anniversary. On the centre panel there's an astronaut from Apollo 11 and the caption of "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." The words spoken by Neil Armstrong, the first man to step onto the surface of the moon. At the foot of the well dressing there is a mention for Scopes for Sen. This is a local charity in Tissington which provides telescopes for special educational needs schools and hospitals. So it's all about seeing into space. When I was at Handswell, I said that Jesus left heaven and came right onto our planet. That's something that's even more amazing than a man stepping from Apollo 11 onto the surface of the moon. Jesus came to die on the cross for our sins. And when we get a real grasp of that and put our faith in him, we will appreciate that for all eternity. Coming through the gap in the rocks and along the narrow path, we come to the village hall and the pond. There's always something interesting to see at the pond. Plenty of wildlife here. But it's a town well that we want to see today. In 2019, this well was dressed with a theme which crops up fairly frequently: the Ascension. It's no surprise that that comes up so often, as the wells are blessed on Ascension Day. We've just been talking about the giant step that Jesus, the Son of God, took when he came to this planet. We know that he went to the cross and was crucified for our sins, so that when we have faith in him, our sins are forgiven and we are made right with God. On the third day, the grave was empty. The stone had been rolled away and Jesus was walking around chatting to people. Then 40 days after Easter, he went back up to heaven. 2 angels came and told his disciples that he would return in the same way. That's the next big event that the Christian church is waiting for today. It'll be great. No more sickness, no more sin, no more disease, no more COVID-19 or any other illness. It'll be a wonderful place to be. I hope you're ready. Now, I've got one more well to see, and it's just down here. This is Yew Tree Well. The name might be rather obvious from the tree behind, but Yew Tree Well. And last year, this was decorated with some flowers and a candle, so you could even see it lit up at night. Of course, it's 2 years since it was decorated with picture boards, the same as all the other wells. And the theme was rather striking. There was a picture of Woodstock 1969 and the face of Jimi Hendrix. Now you might be wondering, where do you find that in the Bible? It's Psalm 95 verse 1. Make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Now, Jimi Hendrix, he may have been a great rock star, he may have made a joyful noise, but when he died, he didn't come back to life again. But in the Bible, we discover that Jesus did come back to life. Jesus is also described as the rock or the stone that the builders rejected, and yet has become the capstone that makes the whole building fit together perfectly. Jesus is the foundation we need to build our lives on. When it comes to our eternal soul, we need to trust in Him. He is eternal. We all hope that by this time next year, the restrictions will be history and we'll be here in Tissington admiring the 2022 well dressings. We hope you've enjoyed our short video and it's given you a flavour of what well dressing is all about. Traditionally, the message of the wells is the good news from the Bible. If you'd like to know more about the Christian message, please contact us and we will be happy to send you a Bible and other helpful literature. Thank you for watching.